we're welcoming Archie. Those of you who don't know me, I produce a video blog called My Daddy Cooks. MyDaddyCooks.com is basically the video diary of me and a certain very, very messy, adventurous 2-year-old called Archie. We launched it last November. It was basically just a little bit of a labour of love. I'd lost my business last February. I had nothing to do, and I decided to film us in the kitchen. Within a couple of weeks, I had people coming to watch from America, Australia. Really quite a crazy time. We cook a lot in the kitchen. People often say to me, does this one really cook? And it's actually not about the cooking. We just like to create a lot of havoc, creative play, make a mess, and we make food at the end of it. The 2 dishes I want to cook for you tonight, because we're at Harvest at Jimmy's, it's a family event, I wanted to go back to some tastes of my childhood. And the 2 things I've come up with, the first is goulash. When I was at school, at my infant school, we had goulash every week as made by our legendary dinner lady, Mrs. Knight. And the other taste of my childhood is chopped liver. Now, I am a completely lapsed Jew, but there are some things which remain really important. Good chopped liver is one of them, and I'm actually going to make my nan's, so my mum's recipe today. These are 2 dishes that this little one absolutely loves. With the goulash, which I'll start with, the thing with the way I cook goulash and the way that we cook anything in the kitchen is that we actually turn it into an easy event for him to cook. So for example, you can slow cook goulash, you can gently roast the onions, you can gently fry the beef. We could actually, if we wanted to, fry it all in the pan and chuck it in the oven. For the sake of theatre, we are going to do a little bit of cooking, but this is a goulash that actually takes about 2 minutes to prepare and then a couple of hours in the oven. Can you do me a favour? If I give you the meat, can you chuck it in that big bowl? Can you chuck it all in? Hold on.
Look at him go!
The important thing about kids in the kitchen is it's all about play. I have a nursery school head who follows my blog, and she said that cooking is the only activity which covers every single element of the early learning curriculum, because it's early science, it's early maths, it's learning to listen to instructions, and of course it's really connecting him with the process of food. So when he's been involved in cooking something, generally he'll enjoy the food that bit more. How much more have we got to go? A little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to
concentration there.
I'm going to toss my beef in some flour just so that it crisps up a little bit in my Le Creuset pot here. The thing I forgot to bring, I've got a 40-year-old Le Creuset pot from my grandma.
Oh.
Can you chuck that flour in? And I'm going to get a little bit of salt.
I think he's going to be stolen off you and taken to a Michelin-starred restaurant.
I think it's young ladies that are going to steal it. So, a bit of salt and pepper. Now, are you going to mix that or am I? Should I do it? Yeah, okay, you do it. And while he's doing that, I'm just going to quite coarsely chop an onion. Is it good?
Feels nice.
As I say, traditional goulash requires a fair amount of preparation, but I give all of my food, is it good? I give all of my food what I call the My Daddy Cooks treatment, so it makes it very easy. Oh, hello Nana, so it makes it very easy to cook in the kitchen. I need a... Is this on?
It needs the lighter, wherever it is.
Hello. A lot of the things I cook are what I call one-pot dishes. They're basically throw it in the pot dishes and then throw them in the oven. So although this requires a couple of hours in the actual oven, the preparation time is about 5 minutes. You can prepare it the night before, you can prepare it an afternoon, and it'll be ready for supper. Is my beef ready? Okay, I need some oil, although this is nowhere near hot enough.
Just round there.
Don't turn that heat up.
Let's have a look. Ooh, I don't know if that's... That can't go any higher. Do you want to put it on the middle one?
I think I've been lost. I've been lost. Yeah. I don't mind a handheld mic.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Vic doesn't mind a handheld. You've got it.
He's performing. Can't believe it.
Yeah, this is not the day for hide and seek. Okay, so talk me through the ingredients so I can shout them out.
We've got
One sliced onion.
about a pound. Am I back on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
About a pound of beef, a couple of tablespoons of flour, salt and pepper, one red, one green pepper, a can of chopped tomatoes. I mustn't forget that there's 2 peppers. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of oil in the pan. And as I said, you know, you read recipes, it says make sure that the meat is nicely brown, make sure the onions are nicely soft. I don't cook like that because it's impossible to with a 2-year-old in the kitchen. So basically, as much or as little as this is going to brown in the space of a couple of minutes, I think actually this pot is way too small, so I'm going to make a smaller version. As much or as little as that's going to brown. Have we got a...
What do you want? One of these?
That will
Yeah.
do. Basically, for a couple of minutes now, in our kitchen where I feel safe and where Archie's got a fun pod, I don't have a problem with him throwing food into a pan. Again, with the developmental side of kids in the kitchen, he learnt very early what is hot, what is cold. He calls good hot, warm. Very, very careful in the kitchen. Now, I don't know if have you got a camera looking at that? So you can see that it's browned pretty quickly. I'm going to chuck in my onion. Again, not all of it because this pan is clear. Oh. Do you want to help? Okay, well let's move you over. Hold on.
Can you backtrack and tell us exactly what a fun pod is so that anyone who's got a child Archie's
a
like
fun
can get
pod
one?
is a specially adapted. Now you be careful and just chuck it in. Thank you. A fun pod is a specially adapted stand that enables him to stand safely in the kitchen. Be very careful because it is so hot, especially with the core. That goes in very nicely. Enables him to stand safely in the kitchen. Now I'm not worrying. You're worrying me a little bit. I'm not worrying about whether these onions. Thank you, darling. I'll pull you back over here. I'm not worrying about whether these onions soften or not. It's not. Whoops.
You nearly lost it. There we go.
Yay!
That's the disappearing Archie act. While those onions are softening, I'm just going to slice the peppers. Did you hurt yourself?
Should we rub it?
Oh, Rosie's going to rub your leg.
There we go. All done.
I'm also not at all worried about Archie using knives in the kitchen. Obviously, I don't let him use my. Want to chuck it in? I'll bring it over here. In it goes. Obviously, I don't let him use my sort of 12-inch chef's knife, but I let him use a normal. Thank you, darling. Some green pepper. I'm quite happy to let him use a normal sized knife. I do think that it's. Do you want to cut it? Not with this knife, because this is a big knife. But we've got a small, like a table kind of knife.
I'll just go.
Rosie's gone to have a look. I do think that it's very similar to swimming. You know, you take kids swimming, you manage the dangers, and it's the same with him in the kitchen. You've got a bit off. Do you want to chuck it in? Ah, thank you very much. Here you go. Do you want to cut that up for me if I give you the knife? If I break that
Archie.
open.
Yeah? What are you going to do with it?
Here we go. Whoa. Thank you, Archie.
So that's your knife, Archie.
Oh, not that knife. That's way too sharp. Cut me a
yeah.
little bit of green pepper.
But the cool thing here is that
It's all
Archie
about
knows
play.
what's in his food.
And it's all about play.
He eats the food. He's a genius.
If you watch the videos, in fact, we're going to play one to you after I've done the goulash. They're very, very natural. They're a very simple document of what happens in our kitchen. I mean, Rosie just said he's a genius. Of course he's not. He's just hanging out with his dad in the kitchen.
He's a kid. He's interested.
He's a kid. One of the nicest emails I got recently on the blog was someone emailed me and said, I can't cook, I won't cook, but I do tinker with bikes in the garage. And watching your blog, you've made a house.
Yay!
And watching your blog has inspired me to have the toddlers in the garage with me when I tinker with my bike. So it's not only about the cooking; it is about just the
Could
quality.
be about anything.
It's about spending quality time at a time when previously you'd think it was dead time.